Hi guys, my name is Ollie. I am a final year medical student at the University of Warwick in the UK. Welcome back to the channel guys, because this is a really exciting video and one that I obviously wasn't sure whether or not I was ever going to be able to make. But let's just open things up with the news. I've effectively got my dream job, and this is just incredibly exciting. But I'm just going to try and make a bit more sense for you guys and what's kind of led to this point and what it means for what comes next. So what is this job in question? This job is a themed post in medical education under the Academic Foundation programme at Newcastle, and there are a few elements to that. I really wanted a medical education AFP, which I got very luckily, and I also wanted to be in Newcastle, which is also what I got. So effectively what has happened is I went through the AFP job application process and have actually wound up with my top possible choice of jobs, which I'm just still absolutely overwhelmed by the fact that this has all kind of come to fruition and a dream come true, as it were. So just a really quick rundown for those of you who haven't been following this process so far. The AFP is like the normal foundation training that a junior doctor would do. It lasts for 2 years, but the difference is that unlike the normal foundation program, which is 6 lots of 4 months worth of jobs, 3 specialties in the first year as your F1, 3 specialties in the second year, with the AFP you instead get one of those clinical jobs as an academic job, as a research job, which is really important because if you want to be an academic of any sort, or you want to apply for something competitive, like I want to apply for neurosurgery long term, this is contractually protected time that you can use for developing your research skills, your leadership skills, or your educational skills. And that's what makes these jobs really quite competitive, because without the protected time of an academic job, you are doing all of these things in your own time. For some people that's fine, but for me, I think I will find that protected time very helpful. And in Newcastle, you actually get 2 protected academic jobs. You get one in the first year and one in the second year, which, as someone who loves to be busy and working on lots of different projects, like honestly guys, I am absolutely over the moon. Because from the beginning of the process, when I was trying to work out where I wanted to go and work and what type of jobs I wanted to do, I always wanted to do a med ed job rather than a research job, because long term, as well as training in whatever clinical specialty I end up training in, I want to be a lecturer, like I want to be a medical educator. And this is a really good way to get started in that, learning more about education theory, particularly research in education, which is a small but growing area of research, and it's a really exciting area to be involved in. There's also the element that I have some increased stability as well relative to a lot of my peers, which is an unfortunate aspect of being a junior doctor. You sometimes have to move around quite a lot depending on where your different jobs are, because these different 4-month posts can be at completely different hospitals. But through doing the AFP, and particularly having an offer in the first round of offers, I have a little bit more stability, because I know exactly which hospitals I'm going to be working in what city, what order I'm going to be doing my jobs in, and all of these things just mean that I can plan my life a little bit better. I won't have to move, crucially. I can stay in the same place for 2 years, which is like unspeakably valuable during your junior doctor training. And one of the best things, guys, is that I will have effectively no commute for 2 years, because the 2 hospitals in Newcastle in which I'm going to be based most of the time are so close to each other that if I lived somewhere either near one of them or in the middle of the 2 of them, I want to live in the city centre anyway, or close to the city centre or the quayside area of Newcastle. They're both going to be walkable from where I'm going to be living, hopefully, and the thought of that is just such a joy. And like I said, I actually know what jobs I'm going to be doing, which is really exciting. I can flash you up the programme on the screen, but I'm starting on general surgery, specifically hepatobiliary surgery. So I want to be a surgeon in the future. I think I want to do neurosurgery, but neurosurgery jobs are very rare in foundation training, relatively speaking. And you also don't have to have done a neurosurgery job in order to apply for neurosurgical training. So I have 4 months of that. Then I will have my first academic block in F1, so in the middle of F1. And none of us are 100% clear on what the clinical part of these academic blocks is, but I've heard from various people that you have occasional shifts either in the emergency department or on the acute medical units, so dealing with the acute take. And that's really important, because one of the things with the AFP obviously is that you're losing one of your clinical rotations, or 2 in this instance, but we still have the same number of clinical requirements to make up as all of the junior doctors do. So you have less time, and because of that, being on the acute medical units where you're seeing a much wider range of patients means that you're going to get more chances to build up a range of skills, so that's really good. And then my third rotation of F1 is acute medicine, and I really wanted either an ED or acute medicine job, because what I want fundamentally, you know, long-term career plans aside, is I want to be a safe doctor. So that's my F1 year out the way. Then in F2 I start on neurology. I love neuroscience, it's my favourite area of medicine. Neurology was my favourite block in the preclinical part of the course here at Warwick. I absolutely love it. So I'm still getting some neuro exposure, even though it's obviously not neurosurgery. A neurology job was a really nice thing to have and a good bonus. Then I have my second academic block, so in the middle of FY2. So another 4 months of research and working on projects and things, hopefully getting involved in some teaching. And then, of all things, I end on psychiatry. Now, psychiatry is one of those specialties where it gets a bad rap. It's definitely not something that I want to do long term. It's not the career that I want for myself. However, there are 2 practical advantages to this. I think that it is a really important area of medicine, and I actually really enjoyed my placements in psychiatry a lot more than I thought that I would. There's this increasing focus on treating the patient holistically, looking after their mental health as much as their physical health, and that's actually something that I've experienced through medical school. It's been much more important than I thought it was going to be. That sounds like it reflects badly on me, but I was not aware of just how important it is for patients, but now I have an appreciation for that, and actually I think that job will be a really good experience. And the other just practical element of a psychiatry placement is that I will have surgical exams and things like that I will want to do, and it tends to be a bit of a quieter block, so potentially some good time around that to revise for those exams if I decide that I want to sit them at that time. And as I say, I'm still pretty overwhelmed by this whole process, right? Because just to put the scale of what's kind of happened into perspective here is that there are about 500 AFP jobs, I believe, in the UK. So there'll be 5,000, maybe 5,500 junior doctors starting in August when my year starts, assuming we all pass finals, which of course we all will. About 500 of those, so it's about 5%-ish of jobs are AFP jobs. Within those 500 jobs, the vast majority are research jobs, pure research, and there are about 35 to 40 medical education jobs in the country. Within the Northern Deanery, because I knew that I wanted to go back to Newcastle, within the Northern Deanery, there is 1 medical education job, and that is the one that I found myself lucky enough to have and be offered in the first round of recruitment as well, so I must have ranked top for that job. And I actually noticed something about myself when I found out that I'd got this job, because I was on the ward round with my clinical partner when I got the update come through to my phone on Oriel just saying that something has changed. And this is actually quite different. Something I noticed that was quite different, because when I applied to medical school, I got my place at Warwick, and this is now something that obviously I'd been chasing for several years at that point, probably 5 or 6 years, thinking about going to med school, becoming a doctor and doing my first degree and going through application and all the rest of it. Got my place at medical school. I really didn't know how to feel, actually, and I've spoken about this before, but when I got my offer to go to medical school, I was not jumping for joy, I was not over the moon, I was not happy beyond belief. I actually did not know how to feel at all, and actually felt quite conflicted, you know, when Wile E. Coyote catches the Roadrunner. What do I do now? You know, I've been chasing this thing for so long and now I have it. Like, what do I do now? Whereas with this, I was actually like giddy, ecstatic, so happy to have got this job. And I don't really know why I've experienced this differently. Maybe a bit more self-confidence now, because the unexpected positive effect of getting this job offer is that my mental state was not great over the few months leading up to that job application. I was tired, I was burnt out, you know, doing all these projects and the job applications on top of medical school and trying to keep up with all the rest of it, especially during COVID as well, where everything's very frustrating. It was really getting to me, actually. I was very mentally fatigued. But now, having got this job offer, the positive effect that has had for my motivation it's pushed me through the roof, basically. Can now really reliably study every day, make sure I'm hitting my learning objectives and revising properly, because maybe it's just because there's a much more concrete goal now. It's, if you pass these exams, this is where you're going, this is the job that you're doing. And that's a job that I'm actually really excited to do. It's in a city that I love, where I did my undergrad. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to leave university after 7 years of education. I can't wait to be a doctor, because I'm now getting more and more self-confidence to that point where it's like, actually, you know what, we do know this, we can do this, we can be junior doctors. Won't necessarily be very good at the beginning, but I am at least ready to leave medical school, you know, getting towards that point. Not there yet, but we are getting there. And I tell you what, guys, it has been an enormous amount of work. Self-inflicted work, of course, because most of my stresses are self-induced and extracurricular and all the rest of it, and it's been hard. However, there also has been an incredible amount of luck as well, and meeting some very helpful people, some people who were willing to put aside time for me and to help me do the things that I wanted to do, to take me through the process of applying, to help me. People stick their necks out for you, and I'm just so unbelievably thankful to those people. They all know who they are, and I very much plan on carrying that all forward. That's going to fuel me to keep making these widening access videos, to keep building this platform. There's going to be AFP stuff, guys, a complete series on, for what it's worth, my opinions and advice for going through the AFP process. Been talking to a lot of people about that recently, because it has a lot of access problems clearly of its own. And you guys watching, because genuinely, all the things that I've learned through having this platform and having this channel and learning to edit videos and talking to you guys, that was actually a huge part of my application, because I'm really proud of what we've been able to build here. But obviously none of that works. None of it would have gotten me where I am now and into this incredibly fortunate position that I'm in without the support of you guys who subscribe to the channel and watch the content and engage and ask really good questions and reach out for help, because none of it works if people don't do that. And just, it's been one hell of a journey, guys. I think that's the only way I can put it. I know that there are some of you that have been watching since the very beginning of this channel and now coming to the end of med school, you know, 4 years later, with a job in place for becoming a junior doctor, and basically just one set of exams in the way with a very high pass rate. So hopefully all will go well. But that's where we'll wrap it, guys. As ever, I've rambled on far too long. I did really just want to dedicate the end of this video to all you guys at home who continue to watch, continue to support the channel and engage, and as always, because you guys have, you know, so far helped me achieve my dreams and my goals. Always, if there's anything that I can do for you guys to help you achieve yours, or to contribute in a way that will help you achieve yours, then I would consider that a very good use of my time, because you guys have given me your time. You know, I owe you mine. So thanks very much, guys. That's where we'll wrap it. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in another video. Bye for now.